He's an asshole, man. That dude's an asshole and he knows it.
From the mean streets of Brooklyn to the rough neighborhoods in Boise, Idaho, we now present the Goonberg Report. Okay, man. This is Mayor Goonberg, and we're back with the Goonberg Report. And I'd like to thank you for joining me today. We're going to have a nice little topic. We're going to discuss something for young men, older simps, and men anywhere, really, basically. But especially to you young men, I want you to learn from my mistakes and others' mistakes. And today we're going to talk about a nice little issue that nobody really wants to talk about or give you a heads up on. There's a few of us on YouTube giving us give you a heads up on this topic. But today we're going to talk about a topic which I didn't really like either. But we're going to talk about in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to talk about that famous topic about child support. What's going on? And today we're going to talk about the beginnings. I'm gonna go try to take you step through step, not in this video, but I'm gonna maybe give you the beginnings. Now, in the beginning, I'll talk about my situation since that's what you're here for. Okay. Now, my situation is like everybody else's. Meet a chick, you're cool with her, you do what you do. All right, cool. So whatever happened. And I thought we were cool, this and that. Now, in my situation, there were external factors. First of all, let me put this on record. I was single. I was not married at the time, and I handled all my responsibilities. So that in itself will let you know that I was doing what I was supposed to be doing. But that's normal. I should be doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Now, on the other side, they were coming out of a relationship. And I'm not going to disparage who she was with. It was who it was. And so, I knew her before. She was a cool chick. All right, whatever. So, yeah, whatever happened, we were still cool. Boom. She said, well, I think I'm pregnant. Now, in the back of my mind, that put me in a lurch because, yeah, I could have easily said it was mine, but at the same time, I know there were other factors. If we can call it that, there was other factors. I don't know. The other side, he might have been, like I said, I wasn't in a relationship. We weren't in a relationship. We were, if you would call it, friends with benefits. That's what they called it back in the day. We were friends with benefits. But like I said, I don't know who she was messing with besides me, and she don't know who I was messing with besides her, because it was none of our businesses. We were keeping it 100, or so I thought. But we did what we did. She got pregnant. And I told her from the gate, if it's mine, I'll handle my business like a man. No problem. We were cool. Then a situation came to me, and this is the exact quote, because I'll never forget this, because I don't forget this quote, because this is the quote I remember when I had to go to child support. Don't worry about the child's not yours, it's so-and-so's. So I was like, all right, cool. I didn't have no animosity. I was still doing my thing. I was still sitting on my throne judging you degenerates. You know how I do it. I was minding my business. Then all of a sudden, there was rumblings. Well, he's starting to look like you, yada yada. And I was like, this isn't from her. This was the rumor in the street. And sometimes rumor in the streets are real, and sometimes it's gossip. So a friend of hers came and said, well, he's kind of, I don't know, he looks a little like you. And I was like, well, look, if that's the case, tell her to bring the child over, which, show my mother. And my mother, then, I'll go with what she says. Now, mind you, this is before child support. This was all preliminary stuff. So this could have been handled then. No, it didn't happen because it was messing with her dude. She went back to her boyfriend. So afterwards, I guess they were playing house or whatever. I don't know. I'm taking this. This is stuff that I'm getting also firsthand from people. Then all of a sudden she came up to me, I guess, and this is what she said. She was like, "Well, they got into it, this and that. You need to." He said, "You need to go get this, take so and so's kid to him." And like I said, this is what she told me. See, a lot of stuff people's finding out like now. Like I said, for 18, 20 years, I bit my tongue. I was ran through the ground. I was a no good motherfucker. I was a deadbeat dad. I was this. I was that. I had to do that because I had to put on the public appearance. But now when you run my name in the ground, there's payback consequences because all the kids are old and we all can understand. So, like I said, he told her, I guess after they broke up, I mean, I can't imagine being in his position either. I'm not mad at him. I mean, for a minute there, he was mad at me, and I was like, fuck you mad at me for? You doing the same thing I'm doing. You were messing around. I said, she ain't together. I'm doing what you're doing. What are you hating on me for? But that's another topic for another day. So she came to me. I was like, she goes, well, I think he might be yours. Now, mind you, this is after they broke up. So in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, wait a minute. Is she trying to game me to get this dude back and to start shit between me and him? Because like I said, I heard he had problems at first, but I was like, look, man, I told her, I don't know the dude. I ain't got a problem with the dude. If he feels like he feel a type of way about me, he can when he sees me say something, well, we can talk about it like men. But beyond that, that's the where my programming was going. I'm thinking, well, she's trying to play both sides versus the middle, and she wins either way. That's how I was looking at it as. I'm like, nah, I don't trust this. So I said, okay. I did my duties, did this, did that. She went back to him again, pulled him back, and I thought that was going to happen. Like I told you, I think that was in the back of my mind. So when it happened, I didn't like not expect it. So I was like, okay. So then a 6-month period go by. I guess they're playing house, whatever, ever again. Then they had the final big blowout, and all of a sudden, this is the time where now, I'm doing whatever I'm doing. Like still, mind you, I'm not married or nothing. I'm a single guy. So, son or not, it's not going to hurt me in a relationship because I'm single at the time. But now, she came to me and said, well, he's yours. Now, mind you, she just played the game twice with me. The first time, she didn't know and went with him. Then she did it again. So I'm like, nah, the third time, you're not going to try to fuck me on the third time. I said, well, I tell this in other videos. What I said before is, well, maybe you need to go to court, figure out who the father is, and we go from there. I had no problem. Okay. So, we went down there. We went to court. And I was the only one on there because I guess by that time, my son was getting a little bigger and was getting recognizable, like he's mine. But I didn't see him at the time because, like I said, they were together. And I was the last person he wanted her to talk to. Mind you, we weren't sleeping together, so that little thing. So all of a sudden, we took the test. And in the middle of the month, we had to go back again. And this is another part where I get pissed off at because we had a strategy. We came up. First of all, I've seen where most people, how they are with children with separated parents. Not separate. Separate means they might have been married. Single people having kids without the benefit of marriage. I see how that works out. It doesn't work out great 80% or 85% of the time. There's one person bitter, one person mad, whatever. And so we had a game plan going in. I'm like, hey, we'll just find out if it's my son was mine. We'll go. When we go, the lady says, do you guys have a payment plan worked out? And I'll say yes. Now, in her mind, because she was trying to get a relationship out of the deal. Now, mind you, you did me dirty those 2 times. Well, you didn't even do me dirty because I wasn't expecting anything. But you tried to play me those 2 times. Why am I going to be in a relationship with you if you try to play me those 2 times? I was like, no. I said, I take care of my son. That's what we talking about. That came to haunt me. Which you shouldn't, because I was being an honest and real dude. Okay. Now, fast forward to the court date. So we're in here, in the court date. We're in there. Not court date, the hearing. I got the letter. I took the test. Found out my son was mine. All right, cool. I was happy. First off, when you take the test, if you're the father, you pay for the test. If not, it goes to her. Chances are, if she's on welfare, it goes to the rest of the people paying the bills. So I knew that was going in, so I took that hit. Didn't mind because I had a son. Then she was calculating. Every state has this. It's called something different in every state. Don't get anal about it. It's like in Pennsylvania, it was the 80-20. It's where I'm sure it's like this in every state. Or some people say they take a fourth. It's still 20%. No, that'd be a fifth. Yeah, that'd be a fifth. But they do the 80-20. So 25%. Yeah, they take 25%. They do 80-20. Yeah, they take a fifth. The 80-20. Yeah, because 20 times 5 is 100. Yes, they do a fifth. So they take they do the 80-20. They combine your income and take 20% of that, and that's what the kid gets for child support. It's like that in mostly every state. You wouldn't believe it, but yeah, it is. So it's better to work this shit out. Well, no, let me check that one because you'll be surprised. So we got in there because I told her, I said, I'll give you X amount of money a month. We had an agreement worked out. I said, just tell her we what our agreement is, and we're in and out. So we get in there, and here's where she fucked me over. And you wouldn't think they would do this shit like that, but yeah, she did it. We went in there, and lady said, I had a child. Then they asked her. They said, do you guys have a payment plan arranged? Or like an agreement worked out? I'm not looking at her because I'm like, she's going to talk, Because from my end, we do. I don't have to worry about it, I'm cool with it. She goes, no, we don't. Heated number. I was really heated then. Like I said, I wanted to put my foot so far up her ass. I ain't gonna lie. I wanted to. That's facts. And then, she said, okay. So they did the 80-20. They came up with the number I gave per month. Now, mind you, I'm in southwestern Pennsylvania, and I live in I used to live in a depressed county, like the Pittsburgh area. Like, it's just Rust Belt, depressed, but I still making decent money. But I heard stories, you all heard stories about guys paying $100 a month, $75 a month, $50 a month for child support. And I'm thinking, we're good over here. They said, boom, X amount. I was like, wow. I said, okay. But still, in the long run, it was less than, I just got shocked at the number. It was less than what I was giving her. See what I'm saying? And so I get out there, and then the bad part about it, I said, okay. And then I immediately, I was in arrears for those 6 months I told you about that I didn't know when they were playing house. I was in arrears. Now dig this. If you're in arrears, she could have easily waived that, and she's going to get more than me anyway, because she's my son. She could have easily got more out of me if she'd have waived, even when she fucked me over in child support in the hearing. She could have waived that arrears and she would have got more out of me. But whenever it became fuck me, I reverted back to my old ways and was like, well, fuck you too. And then it was like, well, Mr. Warmack, it's Mr. So-and-so. Do you have like I said, I was behind in arrears in the thousands of dollars. In 6 months, I was in arrears in the thousands of dollars. There wasn't no like $1 or $2 grand arrearages here. In the 6 months, I was in arrears in thousands of dollars. I said, wait a minute. And I had to check myself because I was getting real fucking heated. I ain't gonna lie. I said, wait a minute. I just now found out I have a son, and I understand I have to pay for all that because that's the gig. They want you to pay for it to make up for that welfare that she's getting. Mind you, and I won't go into that because she wasn't getting welfare. She was like working at the time. At the time, I'm using that right now. At that time right then and there, she was working. So now you got the gist. She was. Listen to the words here. She was working. All right. So they said, "Well, how much can you put down on it?" I said, "Man, I don't carry that much money on me." I said, "Zero. I'll give you the first month child support and work it out." So the lady was nice. She said, "Well, how about a payment plan?" I was on a payment plan where I paid child support and I paid X amount a month that goes to my arrearages. Okay, so that's when I tell you the state can make you a deadbeat. That's how the state can make you a deadbeat. What they do is they put you on. You don't know if you have now. Look, don't get me wrong. There's some scumbag motherfuckers out there that don't take care of the kids that are deadbeats. But the state can make you a deadbeat if you don't know that you have a kid by, say a chick tells you got a kid and you go, it can go for 10 years. You don't know you have a kid, right? But if you go to court and find out that kid's yours, they'll want that money. And what's going to happen is she'll have to waive the arrearages for 10 years. If she doesn't, you're in that hole and you're a deadbeat. So we got to that point, and I was mad. So we rearranged the payment program. And what I want to do is, this is I won't make this a lot of parts because it's kind of fucked up and kind of not. I mean, you figure two adults could get along together, but at the same time, two adults couldn't get along together. Look, I'm not going to say it was all her fault. I had a part to play in this, but believe it or not, it wasn't mostly my fault. I'll give myself maybe 10 to 20, and that's because it was pure stubbornness on my part. The rest, she was baiting, switching, doing all sorts of bullshit to me. But I said I had to eat that because of the kids. But the next video I'll go on, and I left off on this video about the payment program. So what I want to do on the next video, I'll kick it on to after the payment program and on. Thanks for listening. This is the Goonberg Report. Thank you.